So let's talk about buying that second place, because that's another big kind of barrier that you got to break through. And it sounds like with your story, it's taking a step here and then taking another step here and taking a blind faith step here, And so talk about buying that second one, leaving the place behind. We often get the question of, can you leave an FHA and continue to hold it? And it sounds like, of course, you can. And so talk a little bit about that. And then kind of the mindset of now you got to consider, multiple furnaces, multiple, owning a couple of properties. I know my wife and I went through that step, and it was intimidating because when I was flipping, it was one house at a time. And then I bought, the multifamily, and then buying the next places. It's now you got to consider more things, and there are always things that go wrong with real estate, but those are just things you kind of factor in. So talk a little bit about that.
When we bought the duplex, the plan was always to move out. So that way we could rent both sides. We knew we had to wait 2 years to be able to leave the duplex. So we were coming up on the 2-year point, and we both like real estate. So we're always casually perusing the market and watching as things are happening. And the house that we live in now came on the market, and it was one of those houses where you look at the pictures and you're like, I really want to see this. And so we came and we looked, and we didn't even know if it was possible yet for us to leave the duplex. We just really liked this house. So that was a Sunday. So the very next day, Michael was on the phone with our lender trying to figure out, if we could even financially make it work at this time to be able to move out of the duplex.
Yeah. Yeah. So we saw it on Sunday. We actually saw it at an open house after we went to see another house in the same area that needed a total gut job. Mm-hmm. We were in and out of that house pretty quick. It was a super weird house. It would have been a nightmare to rehab. Random side thing. They had a finished garage that turned into like a movie room. It was very strange. It was definitely not zoned correctly either. So we came to this open house on a Sunday, and I called the lender like Monday 9 a.m. And got our pre-approval, which was a whole thing because of our income situation at the time. And we got our offer in at like 3:30 in the afternoon, and we were in contract at 10:30 that night for this place. So it was about less than a 48-hour turnaround of seeing it to the contract. So it was a little nuts.
The biggest thing with moving out of the duplex into the single family, kind of going back to what you were saying, it's weird not being on the property anymore. It felt a lot easier to manage the duplex when we were physically there all the time. We were living there. We could see what was going on in the neighborhood. So for me, the biggest shift between living in the duplex and then managing the duplex has been not physically being on site to see what's going on or what needs to happen anymore.